Got to let me chair this. Saeed, I want you to put a question to Gerard Batten this evening, and then don't be shouting over him as he tries to respond to you.
Stephen,
Saeed,
I won't put a question to him.
Saeed, what is your question for Gerard Batten tonight?
My father is a criminal symbol for criminals who go and rob banks. A hijab and a niqab is for Muslim women, right, who do not want to show their faces, right, apart from their husbands to any strange man, right, which in Islam states the Muslim woman, right, has to cover all her body apart from her hands and her feet. Now, Gerald, I don't even know his second name.
Gerard
right?
Batten.
Pardon?
Gerard Batten.
Gerald Batten doesn't even know Islam, hasn't even read the Quran, and he comes on the radio blabbing on, trying to tell us about our religion. Sorry, mate, go back home, read the books, because that's why you don't get elected, because you know nothing.
Sorry, can I answer that one, Stephen?
Yes, go ahead.
First of all, we did get elected. I got elected in London, and we came second in a national election with 2.5 million votes. Secondly, I take my advice on this from somebody who knows the Quran by heart in Arabic, who assures me that it is not in the Quran that women must cover their whole bodies or their faces. It only says that they should dress modestly, and that this is a cultural custom from countries like Saudi Arabia and Afghanistan and other Middle Eastern countries.
Mohammed Shafiq, what is your interpretation of this?
Well, I mean, look, I go to the central.
What does the Quran say?
There is, in the Muslim faith, in the Muslim community, there's great diversity. There is a strand of opinion that says basically you've got to wear the niqab, and there's a strand of opinion that says that you actually don't have to show your hand. You do not need to do that. Well, I'm sorry, Gerard. With the utmost respect, I think it's quite patronising for you to tell me, as a Muslim, what I should think. This is, as far as I'm aware, that's the opinion. There's a difference of opinion amongst the scholars on this, and there's diversity, as there is diversity within any community, with any faith group, and that's the principle. The principle is about freedom. There's security questions. Actually, Gerard needs to go back to the government. The government passed numerous anti-terror legislation that gives the police the authority to ask women to remove the niqab, and actually the police are fair in saying actually we do ask women to remove niqab, but we also respect their religious observance and do that in the privacy of a private room, not in front of everybody. So I think there are ways to move forward, but to try to put this as a debate of them and us, actually, and then to pillar us to people who wear niqab and hijab with women, with criminals, is absolutely offensive.
You're the one that's equated it with criminals. I don't think that
How can you say somebody wearing a balaclava comes into a bank?
You're the one that's equated it with criminality. I think the balaclava is a perfectly legitimate thing to wear in the cold weather that we've had over the last few weeks. And somebody may well go out to wish wearing one, and they may wish to go into a bank.
You talked about someone,
they'll be asked to remove it.
You talked about someone wearing a balaclava walking into a bank, Gerard Batten.
And crash helmets, of course.
Do you think this will win you votes?
Well, I think it's about saying things that we believe in and that we know that the vast majority of the British people believe in. It's not just about winning votes. It's about standing up for what we believe in and defending our country, and I think that's what we're interested in doing. People can either then vote for it or not vote for it, depending whether they agree with us or
Here's
not.
What's been said in the text and the emails tonight, 85058, the email nolan@bbc.co.uk. I'm outraged about this. I was told never to come back to my local petrol station a few weeks ago because I was asked to remove my motorcycle crash helmet after they'd served me, chatted to me, and I'd paid. But if I had a burqa on, they would never have even dared. This guy you have on is about democracy. Can you please ask him why it's not the same rule for a burqa as for a crash helmet, says Stuart in Mansfield. Alexander, writing to us tonight from France, I think it would be an excellent idea for these sorts of things to be banned in public and in private places. Whenever I see someone wearing one, I make a point of doing a very sharp detour just to avoid them, as it makes me feel uneasy. How do I know what the concealed person under the burqa is going to do? Tony in Essex. Hello, Tony.
Yes, hello, Stephen. Good evening to you. I do find the attitude from your friend, was it Gerard, his name there?
It's Gerard Batten.
Yeah, I find him quite offensive, to be honest. I mean, I'm what most of us would describe as a white Anglo-Saxon male in my late 50s, born and bred in Great Britain. And, I work, my office is in a part of East London in the borough of Tower Hamlets, where I go for a walk at lunchtime and I find people walking around in all sorts of Asian dress, and I don't feel threatened. And for this guy to say that somebody wearing a burqa going into a bank could be regarded as a bank robber, well, couldn't somebody not wearing that going into the bank also be regarded as a bank robber? I mean, come on. I mean, let's get real. This is the 21st century, isn't it? Let's what sort of country does he want us to have? I mean, UKIP, in my opinion,
why don't
from
you
the way
ask
that
him,
he's
Tony?
behaving. align themselves to the BNP totally.
Speak directly to Gerard. Why don't you ask him a question?
Okay, Gerard,
Hello, yeah.
why? Yeah, good evening to you.
Hello, Tony.
Why do you take this offensive attitude towards what people are wearing? I mean, why can you state that, in your opinion, a burqa could be hiding a bomb going into a bank? Couldn't somebody not wearing a burqa be hiding a bomb?
Well, Tony, first of all, it's not meant to be offensive, and I don't think it is. What I'm saying is that if you can't see somebody's face, you don't know who they are. And if we're all required to show our faces in public places and many, many private places, then the same rule should apply to everybody. And that's fair, I think, and equitable. And the point I'm making about the burqa is it covers the whole body and the face. You don't know who's wearing it. Mr. Shafiq was talking about the government's counter-terrorism legislation, a lot of which I don't agree with, and I think the Labour Party have gone far too far with some of their measures. And I think they're anti-libertarian and authoritarian.
As your policies as well.
The whole point about the burqa is you don't know what's underneath. Somebody could, and we have, as I said earlier on, there was the case of the terrorist trying to escape wearing a burqa. So how do you know somebody walks into a public place wearing a burqa? How do you know it isn't a terrorist with a bomb strapped to them? Because you can't tell who they are.
May I ask you then, how do you know somebody not wearing one equally hasn't got a bomb tied around their waist?
Because you can often see you can often see their faces. You can see a lot more of what they're carrying, and we're all told to be very alert when these terrorist scares have gone on, haven't we? And to look out for people who might be suspicious.
I'm sorry, but you're nothing but a racist buffoon.
Well, I'm sorry, you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I think I've been in this world long enough to know as much as what I'm talking about.
You are calling me a name based on no knowledge about me or what I believe in.
I know what you're talking about. I know the policy that you're talking about, and it's likening you to nothing more than the BNP.
Well, that's just stupid, I'm afraid. It's a very stupid thing to say.
Thank you, Tony. Claire in Manchester. Hello, Claire.
Hello.
Go on, Claire.
Stephen. I'm phoning to the fella that's Islamic.
Mohammed, the name is.
Yes. No, sorry, I didn't know your name.
It's okay. Good evening.
Mohammed, I don't know if you've ever heard the saying, when in Rome, do what the Romans do. English people do not wear things all over the faces 24/7. We're not used to it. This is a dramatic, sorry about that, this what's-it country where there's all different people. There's no problems with the Chinese people. There's no problems with the the Jewish people. There's no problems with Hindu people or Asian people. But Muslims, there's a big problem. This is England. We all share the country.
Absolutely, and I think that's the great thing about this country, that we have the freedom to practice our faith. We have the freedom to